Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Team Fortress TV. We're hopping straight into the middle of a match. Velocity eSports versus New God Flow. They had a little bit of a very last-second reschedule of this match, so we weren't able to catch the first few minutes as we were still getting set up. But it's 0-0, the current score line. It is slight Uber ad for New God Flow. They hold mid, but contesting for a second right now. Our Velocity eSports shouldn't be holding on too long. Gonna be backing off to their last point. Row, how's this game going so far?
Well, I only just kind of joined roughly at the same time, waiting for everyone to get ready. But what I'm seeing is kind of an unexpected outcome. I mean, New God Flow has been showing up with the great names like Marmaduke Grills, who's just jumped in, going to be able to escape right out that shutter door. But with names like Marmaduke Grills, Evil Mr. Muffin, Psy Guy is back on Pocket, and Dingo, as well as Patty, Mr. Muffin's 404. Like, this is a star-studded roster, so we're going to be seeing a very even match as we see that Velocity, who would probably be the crowd favorite, is currently on their last.
Oh yes, and looks like Rakuso's in a whole lot of trouble in Big Door. Got some damage down for the sniper, Evil Mr. Muffins, but cleaned up the help of Marmaduke Grills. So they're going to be aware of that threat coming out onto this last point. They should be ready for Muffins. You can already tell Sky's playing to try to counter that as best she can. But, yeah, it's basically all on New God Flow. 100% Uber charge from both players. Boar is up to counter snipe, a godly sniper. Mr. Muffin's got to be fearing as he peeks in, and there goes his head.
You speak it to life, and it becomes true. Boar showing his dominance at the very start of this sniper v sniper battle. This probably won't be the last one tonight because, goalie wash, blast. And he's trying to peek up right now. He's got this angle. Oh, Dingo gets domed right over the top of that shutter. None of the lobby platforms could protect him, and so he goes down. That's a huge opportunity for Velocity to push out.
Even Mr. Muffin's pushing in through lower, and with the help of Marmaduke Grills, will secure the frag on a Speedy, and that leaves Sky all alone, forced to pop to Marmaduke Grills. That is unfortunate. They're going to do their best with this, like, terrible Uber charge, but now Boar able to pop in. Shamu barely HP cleaned up easily by Patty. They're going to get some point time now. Boar has to try to jump on it. Stop that if he can. Rakuso up top as well, raining rockets down onto Psy Guy. Looks like he will get blown up by Marmaduke Grills. Boar behind that point. Jared as well, very late feed. Just Sky against 6 players, no chance for her. And it's New God Flow for the first point.
Yeah, that last hold did not work out for Velocity because all their players were so hurt and corralled behind the point, so it was just a matter of slowly pulling them into the light and then securing the frag. So we'll be going to our next mid right now.
Velocity did win the first mid despite losing the first round, so we'll see how they come out on this one. It was very back and forth mid last time, but Velocity were able to keep Sky alive. We'll take down every other player. Speedy, the first player to go very low, but eats an arrow, doesn't really matter, shoots the point, kills himself, Dingo gets credit, but gonna be able to trade that back and forth. Now Boar goes down, making it a 4-on-5. Come across the point, Psy Guy, Marmaduke Grills as well into the choke point. Gonna trade for Rakuso and Marmaduke going down as well. That leaves only 2 players left in the choke. Shamu still there as well, being healed up by Sky. They want to be able to hold on. It's a 2-on-2. Jared hits the stickies. Oh, and it's only the medic left alive. 404. Can he get out of this? Surely not. Jumping out through Big Door, but he will be able to make it on very little HP. Jared's chasing this as hard as he can. Sticky jumping into the second point. What is that?
Oh man, Dingo in a desperation play comes to the middle point, does not win the 1v1 against Boar. He wanted to chase down, he might have had some kind of miscommunication because Dingo was in lower lobby when Jarrett was called out, and unfortunately it was just too little too late, so Dingo decided to turn it into a sack play. So now they're dealing with no med and no demo. Second is all but velocities.
Yeah, they're going to be able to walk into this for sure. New God Flow just having to give that up and get back to their last point. You think they would be making some defenses. Now, this is pretty much picture perfect of what we saw in the first round. I mean, I saw it, you guys didn't. Velocity eSports last time, they had Uber ad pushing into last. They failed, but this time we'll see what goes, Row.
Boar just takes a flash underneath while the rest of the players flood through this river. Right now, Dingo is pushing against the point, gets taken down, and the cap tie was too strong. They're going to get that cap with no effort required. So 1-1, Velocity retaliating with a very clean round overall.
2 scouts run onto that point. All you have is Dingo to try to defend that. Never going to work out for him. Times 4 on the point. That's just going to be GG. So next mid fight coming out here.
Right now, Dingo with a very nice early sticky to try and mitigate Boar, but no, gets struggled. Almost gets air shot. Gets cleaned up finally by Saga. But the big play right now is Shamu, who was able to catch 404 trying to make his way over to the garage door. So now it's a desperation play from Marmaduke Grills, and oh no, Mr. Muffins carries it with a nice little alley-oop from Marmaduke, launching Sky into the air. Takes him down. So now we're going to be seeing Velocity once again hold on to their advantage, and 4-4 is just sitting in spawn and waiting.
That's the third time Velocity has won a mid-fight in a row, but it's the first time they lost Sky for it too. So this is not going to be the end of the world for New Godflow like it was those first 2 times. They're going to be able to maybe contest on the second point. It's only Shamu here at the moment, and so chased out by Patty, not even going to be able to survive.
Yeah, that was a nice little around the bend kind of shot there. He was on like about 80 health, still got meat shot from like very mid-range. So that kill is going to definitely open things up for Marmaduke Grills, who's currently taking the initiative. Mr. Muffin's close in tail behind the choke. They are going to be able to grab Speedy, who sacked his life at the big door. Sky now backing up with the help of Jarrett. They're going to take down Patty, but there's still a lot of exchanges going on in the flank, and poor Rakuso can't defend. He's going to have to back out as well, so it's been a change of mid-hands. But the Kritzkrieg has come out. They're going to try to get something with this, but it's not connected with anything other than Marmaduke Grills. One more sticky goes around. It doesn't catch it. Oh, but Shamu gets the nice little mini crit shot onto the 1 HP side guy. Now they're going to be rushing forward desperately, but Uber is ready for 4-4.
Yeah, they got 3 players alive here on the second point. Will they contest? That's the question. They've got invincibility, but don't really favor the chances. Now that Patty's here, though, they're ready to go, forcing everybody out through choke. Dingo jumping as far and as fast as he can. Will he be able to catch anybody out, though? That's the question. It doesn't look like it. All of Velocity ready for that Uber charge pop in. There is one player in behind Marmaduke, or Side Guy, rather, gets the kill onto Rakuso, who had gotten in the back lines. But now it's going to be Velocity once again with that Kritzkrieg. Very deadly, looking to get in on New Godflow once again.
Grills waiting very patiently. The crits comes out, he jumps down, gets some good damage on the scout. Follow-up from Side Guy is going to do so much damage, but Jarrett can't die. He gets tanked the whole way through, but finally goes down to Dingo. And so now the retaliation is going to be very strong here. But Boar has found his way in. He's chasing in. He's on the point. No one's going to be peeking forward, though. The choke is locked down. It's just a weird little positioning from Rakuso. A follow-up from Shamu tries to get the medic in the chaos, but does not find it. And so now Rakuso desperate to get into the choke because Side Guy went through the drop down. He's going to lose his life. And now Velocity crumbling under the pressure, and full Uber is ready for 4-4.
The Soldiers of New Godflow coming out so strong in that last fight there. I mean, first you saw Marmaduke Grills with a really great start to that last fight. Just sitting up top, making sure they took so much damage before they came in. And then with the cleanup with Side Guy just getting all the frags he needed to. On the second point, though, it looks like he might want to fight this. Both the Soldiers I was just praising go down, only for a sniper trade. Here comes the Uber charge out of 4-4, getting into this lobby. Surely Jericho's down. Finally, Shamu is well pistoled down by evil Mr. Muffins. That leaves only 3 defenders on this last point. Now, they don't have second just yet. And without Soldiers, it looks like New Godflow are going to take their time getting this last point. Not going to push off of these 2 players who won't be up for another 7 seconds.
In fact, the Kritzkrieg from Speedies is looking like it's going to come out. Boar might even take it. You know, Crit Flamethrower is not to be trifled with. Although I very severely doubt that would happen. But Rakuso is locking down this lower shutter. Keep an eye out for the team. Flo knows that there's a Kritzkrieg, so they're covering all their bases. They want to be ready to get out as soon as they catch a whiff of a player. They just called Shamu out up top. There's a Pyro trying to clear out the way. The Kritzkrieg comes out from the shutter, but doesn't connect with anything. And Boar gets taken down as well. Shamu going to clean up, though. Marmaduke Grills up top while he was looking at the shutter.
And as soon as that Kritzkrieg fails, as soon as Jarrett misses first sticky, you can't keep in like that with the 2 players. You just need to back off because now they're in a 2-player down situation. They do lose even Mr. Muffins, evening the score, but Speedy having a trade for that means it will be still adding Patty with so much point time. There's just not enough people alive to stop that.
Very nicely done. Going into our 4th mid in 15 minutes. It's just ticking away. You wouldn't think this was a goalie wash scoreline in 15 minutes, but we're just rolling right through it. And Dingo also going to be hitting up that big door. Grabs a little bit of extra damage here, but not going to be connecting. Rakuso gets air shot while exchanging face with his little jumping friend Side Guy there. Meanwhile, Speedy does win the fight over in the drop down. He's going to be able to come onto floor 4 right now. He's coming very short. No, he just backs off. Decides to take care of Marmaduke Grills, who's really far behind. He's going to get himself blown up. And 404 will escape, but Jared is in hot pursuit.
That air shot from Saiga, I really thought was going to win them the mid because it essentially got them the first kill in there. They should have been able to roll it forward, but just losing those fights on the middle point. Marmaduke Grills flanked behind, so he wasn't really in most of that fight. and his whole team ended up going down before he could contribute. So now we're on second point. Evil Mr. Muffins goes down. That's not what you want. Saigai as well is going to end up falling here. So, I mean, this is an absolute disaster for New Godflow. With 2 players going down, they still have the opportunity to push in a last. It is even Uber Charge, so they might not choose to push off this just because we got to get second as well. But 5 seconds still in those respawns. I mean, they could tempt it.
Yeah, Dingo almost overstepping his bounds. Thankfully, though, has enough to work with to take down Rakusa, who was just a little too desperate to make something happen there. Marble Grill's overzealous in the river. It's taken down, is immediately followed up with Patty and Saigai. They're going to take down Boar, but there might be an exchange over here in the river. They're wanting to commit to this, but this kind of leaves their lower lobby vulnerable right now. Mr. Muffin's really the only player keeping an eye on things, and they decide to back off. Not going to use their Uber though, so they're just going to be holding things down. Dingo chased down through the lobby, gets cleaned up by Shamu, wrapping around the bend, and now it's looking much better for Velocity to take this round.
You touched on it, but that was such a risky exchange for both teams. Smart by New Godflow to not have to use in that. They were able to keep 404 back far enough that they just got the Uber Charge Force, managed to sneak out. Now Boar on that spy class is going to be looking for the back cap. You can see Speedy as well was sort of going for something, but he was spotted out. The question is, what will Boar be able to accomplish back on last? Dingo is watching it, and Marmaduke Grill's back there as well. It's looking rough.
The drop from Jared
wow.
took down 404. So now they've got a full Uber to work with, and that's going to be kind of like, you know, making them think, hey, we got to back up now. Now Boar is essentially useless. He has a good position right now because Marmaduke Girls is so... Oh, no. No, you got to turn around. He could have gotten the kill, but he decided to shoot the stickies down instead of, you know, checking things out. But Jarrett's still holding things down for his team, grabs 2 more frags in the process, and is now clearing a way in lobby for the rest of his team to come through.
The 4 spy play might not have worked at all, but I mean, it doesn't really matter when their team is doing so well. Gonna use Uber Charge in without waiting for Board. He'll be in the last half of this fight. Marmaduke Girls jumping in behind. There's a little bit of point time they're focusing on now. Here comes the Soldier Bombs jumping onto that point. Trading. There we go. Speedy, Jarrett, both being taken down. Still a lot of point time. Shamu needs to be able to win some fights and win them fast. Not going to win any of them, though, and Rakuso up in the air, very little HP. Finally, Boar returning back into the fight. Sky still alive as well, not able to arrow Rakuso. Boar also falls, and it's just Sky left alive, not for long.
So let me break it down for you, Cornpop, what exactly went wrong there. They Ubered in, and they didn't send more people to the point, and Jarrett didn't lock it out. Because the players were stuck in spawn, they were rotating. But Jarrett was kind of focused on what was in front of the point rather than, you know, what was coming around the point. And so he got cleaned up at the end of the Uber, and so now we're seeing Flo taking all of this free mid-space. Managing out Speedy. Boar takes down a nice shot. And another headshot immediately onto one of the scouts, I think. It's going to be a desperate play for Mardu Girls to get in the face of it. But Rakusa will retaliate, take him down there. So now with 3 frags in their favor, actually 2 frags, forgive me. They're going to be keeping the pressure on, but Shamu does get taken down. Rakusa, though, high and dry, coming in hot. Does not find a good time to jump, though. He's going to wait things out.
And, well, I was going to say Boar is in a very sneaky position, but he was spotted out. Sky as well, taken out by Evil Mr. Ruffles, currently on a 7k and still going forward. Patty will take that one away from him with a pistol kill onto Speedy, but regardless, Evil Mr. Muffins has been doing a lot this round so far. Rakuso takes down Patty as he was trying to get in, but with only 3 players left alive, there is a gun, level 1 sentry, being built up on this right-hand side. New Godflow, though, such a large Uber advantage, and no more Saigai. Going to be looking to push in as soon as they get this and all their players.
Flo definitely still has enough of an advantage to work with. 2 players down, though. That's going to invite some something out from Crusoe. He just backs up, though. Not going to be easing out of it anymore. They know they had the advantage. They've got Sai and Patty coming up on normal classes, but every second they wait, Sky's going to get closer and closer to that Uber, because as soon as they hit anywhere close to 75 before this Uber starts, there's a good chance they can kite the entire Uber and then counter immediately. So we'll see how this goes.
And that's the threat already. 85 as they're walking in through the shutter door. Left-hand side, there is that level 2 gun they got to watch out for. Boron Sniper as well. Make sure they had to pop that off early. And Mr. Muffin's the first one down. It's not what you want. 4-4 juggled. And from behind, you can see him taking down Paddock getting the only kill. But still a bit of point time. They have to use to be able to block that. Marmaduke Grills down beneath the point, causing some trouble. Shouldn't be able to get too much more down here. Nope. Rakuso cleans them up and only giving time for Saigai to run away.
Yep. Losing those 2 players really cost them much more of the Uber than they expected, and so as a result, lose out on that advantage now in favor of Velocity. Only small, though. They have a little bit of action going on the flank, but they want to fight through the choke right now, actually. They've got Saigai up top, and Jarrett needs to be willing to pressure that. But instead, he's focusing on helping out take down Marmaduke Grills. They do manage to pick up 2 frags, though, in their favor. And Saigai gets 2-shot around the bend. The choke point. So now, they've captured second. Mid is all but theirs. And they've still got small enough advantage that they could make something happen if they keep the pressure on and catch 4-4 a little overextended.
New Godflow losing 3 players there is not the plan at all. You can either back off completely if you think your charge is large enough, or stay and fight with everybody, but don't do half and half. That's how you lose 3 and have to back off for sure. But looks like Velocity respecting their opponents, just gonna be working their way in. You can see a very exchange there from Speedy. Marmaduke Grills and Shamu will finish off Marmaduke. So with only 5 alive, make that 5v5 though. 4 goes down to Dingo. Thrown up in the air, that's Saigai. Have to go back off. The charges are being exchanged over on the ground. And now you can see they're still fighting over here. Nobody really wanted to commit to any sort of a fight, but it looks like New Godflow not ready to leave just yet. Jumping around the point. Here comes the bomb in by Rakuso, trying to get on a 4-4. Didn't get the frag, put him out of position. Shamu will be able to clean up on that one. Now they got to keep Sky alive. She looks to be alright though, as her team are cleaning up these kills. They got to get through a couple of players. Marmaduke Grills just might do it, getting through Speedy, but not going to be able to take down Shamu. Leaves just Dingo. No hope for him. Best case is he gets out here, and he won't because Boar's behind him.
I was so excited. I was like, no, never give up hope. Dingo hitting the pipes, backing it up, but Boar had his tail, so that was the end of that. No demo to work with. This is going to be a very easy decision for Velocity. They're going to build Uber? What? That's not the right decision. They have no demo. What are you doing? Whatever. It's not even big enough an advantage. Oh, I'm so frustrated. This is like no advantage whatsoever, and they decided to not push off the Dingo death. But they're going to take down the Sentry? I don't know what's going on, dude. Velocity had the push there, but they decided to play it safe, and that's going to cost them. Actually, they've somehow managed to get more than 25 advantage. They are at 100%, only to 4-4-75 now. They're going to be Ubering right away. They once again send a player behind the point. They're going to be meeting up with Shamu. Boar waiting underneath, though, going to get taken down by Dingo. And that's 3 players down, including the Demo Man. They are going to clean up 4-4, though. So low on health. He just surfs around the bend. Sits on top of the shutter and gets through without a scratch. He's back to full, and he's got Uber.
So that was the same push that Velocity used to get their first round, but this time New Godflow were actually able to get people onto the point. They killed the scouts really early, so you couldn't get that ×4 and cap it off quickly. And after that, it was just a disaster. A very good opportunity for Kuso to be able to take down 4-4 before it ended, but not going to happen. Meanwhile, Boar taking down Saigai here on the middle point, and Jarrett finding Patty suddenly puts Velocity at a huge player advantage. Thrown up in the air, Marmaduke Grill shot down by Shamu, and suddenly that's only 3 players. They do have Uber charge, but what's it matter when you're down by 3? Shamu, oh my god. Shot out of the air by even Mr. Muffins.
And the pop gets forced off immediately through the choke. Mr. Muffin's pistoling away. Jarrett gets juggled. He's going to lose his life here for sure. This guy taking full advantage. They have 89%. They're going to be ready to push here very shortly. And Speedy staying alive at the choke. Maybe he just pressures out the players. Patty desperate to get into the face of the sniper. Boar takes him down before going down himself. Dingo now pressuring the soldiers that are still holding on to this mid. The point is theirs. 4-4 is dead, and they have full Uber. This is looking like a free second.
Yeah, really key for Sky to be able to hold on there. You could tell, despite the fact they only had 3, Godflow wanted to get on that middle point. They wanted to be able to exchange or kill Sky before she got an overcharge. Not going to happen, though. Now, Marmaduke Girl's bombing in a choke and will get the force. Excellently timed by him. He went so high in the sky. Is he going to live as well? He is getting an arrow and the pack. And meanwhile, Speedy taken down by Patty as he gets a little just... Is it too aggressive? No, it's not. He backs off as well. So some excellent play coming out. They are going to lose 1. Marmaduke Grills going down, but regardless, they have the recharge advantage. They're forcing players out of second, and what you called a free second is what it should have been. That's quickly turned bad for Velocity.
Yeah, that was not the best for them. Rakuso tries to outplay Dingo, but does not get the better of him. So now Velocity backing up to their choke. Float trying to make their way through this big door. They've got Uber ready shortly, but they're trying to see how much they can take before they have to use it. Ideally, none at all. But with losing Saigai at the choke, and they're now trying to commit through this elbow, they decided to back off now. They just couldn't get the timing right, and now they're going to be playing even Ubers with a 1-man disadvantage.
Velocity might want to be able to do something with this one, man. They're going to send Speedy in, but got completely denied. Oh, and Sky popped for that despite dropping Speedy. That is not great. Now it's going to be a solo Uber onto Shamu. They're just going to try to get out. They're constantly being body blocked, and so Sky hasn't really made it that far, but with Born Dingo trading in the midst of that choke, probably is going to be a stalemate, but there are a couple of soldiers in. This is a bit dangerous. Marmaduke doesn't get anything. Psy Guy trades out for Jared as even Mr. Muffins runs into a choke, and suddenly it's all going downhill for Velocity. 3 still alive. Shamu and Speedy over by a choke. Sky over in Big Door just trying to arrow her players, and there's still 2 scouts for New Godflow tapping up this middle point. They can't really do anything with Velocity until their medic gets here. Now that they're there, they're going to be able to push right back in, but that point did get capped off, so the spawns are going to change. Evil Mr. Muffins gets taken down. Orange Shamu pushing aggressively, but they got to watch out for the soldiers in Big Door. Still ready to jump and not going to do it. Choosing to play more passive, let Velocity take that back.
Now, when you say Velocity is going downhill, you got to recognize gravity is a factor. And with that acceleration, Velocity just gets faster and faster. So it's not going downhill, it's speeding up. And they immediately retake it against 2 scouts. So with complete control of this midpoint. Roughly even Ubers. I mean, Flow recognizes they have an advantage. They're going to be popping right away. 4 gets taken down here. Trying to cut off the escape route of Psy Guy, but they're not on the right side of the mid. A pause comes out, and Uber is ready for Velocity. And it's looking like a beefy one if they can grab some frags before having to chase down the med.
For sure. New Godflow just popped way too early. I'm not sure if it was a bad call on them or if it was because Boar forced them. He was in there, but it's looking like anybody was too low. So maybe just respecting the scout player, or maybe just not really aware of where the enemy team is situated. Regardless, terrible Uber charge. It's over now. Sky still has her with 100%. They lost Boar as stated, but they still killed Marmaduke over in choke. So it's a 5-on-5 situation. It looks very good for Velocity. Best case now for them is if they can Uber charge, get in. They can probably kill Muffins here. They can probably kill Psy Guy. But I think 404 is in a good position to get out as long as he doesn't play anything too stupid here. I don't think it'll be the disaster zone. Flo can still probably hold last. Yeah. It's my prediction.
It's a good prediction. You know, last is all but theirs. You know, typically, like I don't know if there's like some kind of like secret algorithm, like mathematically speaking, for how many points you can get per number per Uber. But like mathematically speaking, they could probably take second for free, and because it'll happen fast enough, they will be at last, but they probably won't defend it because it'll be an Uber. So what they need, with that said, what they need is someone to force the Uber. But Psy Guy and Mr. Muffins aren't really in the best position. I mean, Speedy's kind of low on health, so if Mr. Muffins can gun it before Shamu gets wind of it, which is going to be impossible, and if Jarrett can somehow not stop him, the only way this can go bad is Psy Guy shooting himself in the corner? This is like a really weird angle.
Yeah, I know. It's like the rocket is coming out of him. Yeah. Oh, I think he's just rocket jumping at the moment. It looks like he's going to hit his head, though.
Yeah, no, everything about this, like, just in third person, it looks like he's nowhere near. He looks like he's, like, spy checking or something. But actually, in first person, it almost looks like a wall jump. But like, that's not the place. So I don't know where he's going to land, but the problem is, like I said, Sky's going to have Uber. She's well protected. Enough players looking around on the point, full health, and the rest of 404 and crew are just going to be backing up through the big door. So depending on what Speedy does, I'm imagining it's going to be hard for him to get back to full health quickly. But we're going to see now as it unfolds, Psy Guy meeting up with the rest of the squad does get taken down, betrayed with Ragusa. Nice little suicide pact between them. But Mr. Muffins has found his opportunity. He's jumping down onto Sky, gets the pressure on. But thankfully Shamu is there to protect, and that will save him. Dingo going to be defending this big door desperately, tries to do some damage, but Shamu is going to be wrapping around, navigating the air with his strafes, and now the cap is theirs. And they have the Uber, and 404 is at 20%, so this is definitely a full Uber advantage for pushing last.
That's pretty much exactly what you said Velocity needed to do, and that's how it happened. You just didn't have to pop on that middle point, which is exactly what they need to do. It's very crucial. Now they're getting ready to push into this last. As you said, 404 not going to have his. There is an engineer up on the field, level 2 gun, building on that right-hand side. Velocity kind of taking their time. They've got Boar in, and I'm not sure I like this sniper pick, considering you have such a huge Uber charge advantage, but the fact that it's Boar might just justify it. Here they come through the shutter, popping it on Shamu. Speedy through lower as well, gonna be able to hit the headshot on the Psy Guy from close range. Shamu gets his 5th kill in this life, and he's already back behind the point. Speedy over by Spawn, trying to get some damage on Evil Mr. Muffins, trying to block that point, but not gonna work for him because Shamu's there, and that's gonna be it. 2-2.
Really nicely, very nicely done by Shamu. He was peppering the stickies, you know, and managed to find himself at just the right angle that Dingo couldn't defend. And so now it's 2-2 with 2 minutes left. If Velocity can pull out another quick round like they did earlier, this could be their 3rd round.
And these mids have all gone in favor of Velocity so far. They've looked so good. New Godflow desperately just trying to hold on, play it a little bit passive if they have to. Saigai jumping across the point. It's a nice one onto Jarrett. That's going to start things off strong for them. Now still pushing across the point, although losing their medic, not ideal. Here we see Speedy in very little HP, but going to survive regardless because he's got such good scouts on his side. And once again, it's a Velocity mid. It's only Dingo left alive. It's 2 minutes, but that's so doable for Velocity to close this half out.
And that's where the pause happened. I'm seeing... not really sure what's going on. Just a small ping weirdo-ness going on. And so Flow now defending on their second. We've got 4-4 up to 30%, and this is going to be a quick one for Velocity. They have the Uber, but they need to push now, and they're not even close to the river. So this could be a potential defense from 4-4 if the Sentry can defend long enough.
Yeah, I believe they're just being gentlemen's because the pause messed with things, so they're going to wait until a certain time has passed before they push. I think they said 1:15 in the chat. So that's why they're going to be pretty hesitant to push here. So nice of them to do that. But yeah, they're going to get ready to go in, and I believe it's 1:15.
Yeah, just like they promised in the chat. Now Ubers are getting exchanged. Gun goes down quickly. Boar not deciding to push out yet. He knows Dingo's underneath, and he can't quite find the opening he needs. Does try to pressure a little bit. Jared's got to go down on the tail end, but this is a last-ditch effort. They have to go all in now. There's nothing they can lose here. They do lose Raguso, however, and it's just Speedy on low health. Everyone collectively has like 60 health, but one rocket might be enough. Dingo, there's stickies on the dude. Just shoot. Detonate your stickies, dude. Dingo's going to get taken down, and the cap goes to them.
Oh my god, Shemu, the last player alive in the server. The timer counting down, but that's not going to matter. It's 3-2. Velocity win the first half. Unbelievable.
That was a good last push. Would you agree?
Yeah, you know, 6 out of 10, pretty good.
Pretty good. But yeah,
No,
they played the gentleman's game. Waited till 1:15 because the pause invariably gave Sky Uber. And yeah, it still worked out for them in the end. Looking over the logs here, real quick breakdown. Shamu dominating with a clean 35-15 KD, as well as keeping up with the other damage members of Speedy and Jarrett, breaking that 250 mark. Other notable things, I guess, Jarrett top damage. Even Mr. Muffins and Patty doing a very good job of keeping up with frags themselves. Bottom frag kind of goes to Dingo, but that's not really a discredit to anything he's done, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, he still had pretty decent damage across the board. There was a short pause, so you gotta kind of think about that when you're talking about damage done per minute. But relative to the rest of his team, he's up there. You know, it's not like he's super slouching in this game, and 16 kills isn't even that low overall.
Yeah, no. The big thing there, though, was that 404 drop that one time. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That really turned it for the game. Like, if that drop didn't happen, I don't even remember if they won that. That was the round they won. But that's a starter, but it would have slowed the game down long enough that they wouldn't have won that third round. So this would have been a much different game depending on how 404 and the rest of the squad pushed out. Because that was really the deciding factor there is Jarrett's stickies.
Yeah, Jarrett, one of the top demo in the scene right now, and I think the defining factor of Velocity this season is their scouts. I mean, the stats speak for themselves when you look at Shamu, and as you were watching through that game, and then Bor. I mean, he's had such maybe he's not crazy high on the frags numbers, right? He's at 21, which is respectable. It's not like Shamu, but he was playing a lot of sniper. He was getting a lot of those impact frags that he needed to get, and I think he brings a different angle to the scout pairing that Shamu doesn't really cover as well with the sniper role. But they just work so well together, and I think the Velocity Scout combo is one of the strongest in the game.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Bor and Shamu, long-standing scout mains. I don't know. It's just
well, new partners this
season.
New
partners. But you can't knock even Mr. Muffins and Patty.
No.
Now Patty's pretty good on pretty much every class. He's reached that level of invite where you can, you know, play multiple scouts, multiple roles.
Yes.
He's played roamer, he's played pocket, but I think he's shined the most on scout.
Well, we'll see if he can shine a little bit harder for his team. He's going to need to. They're down 3-2 as we're starting off the second half of Velocity Esports versus New Godflow, a crucial match. New Godflow hunting for that playoff spot coming into the first minute of the second half.
Yeah, Jarrett trying to catch out those players running up the banana. They will escape to their choke and flow. Waiting with Marmaduke Girls underneath. A bomb comes out from Recruso and picks it up nicely. Grabs the frag immediately onto 4-4. No heals available, but Sky immediately taken down here. Looks like Flo has found their groove. They're going to try and clean up Boar here. He's trying to dance around this corner, but he can't win those fights. Mr. Muffins is too smart for that. And so now with a 4-man advantage, a full wipe. Second might even be theirs.
I like the coordination from Velocity. The aggression was really well timed, but New Godflow just hit every shot that they needed to. Even Mr. Muffins, as well as the rest of the team, just doing a lot of work shutting down the bombing in players. And then after that, Sky had a bit of an iffy surf, and they were able to take the mid pretty handily after that. But Velocity Esports still wanting to contest on this second point. Nobody has Uber Charge. This is going to be doable for them, especially when they get kills like this. Marmaduke throws the big bomb. They got to be careful, but not going to matter as Sky is A-OK on 10 HP. Not worried at all. Jarrett dies for that, making it an overall 4-on-3 in terms of numbers. But Velocity, they're coming out on top already, pushing aggressively into this middle points. New Godflow, they look scared.
Dingo desperately throwing some pipes around. Doesn't manage to connect with any. Saigai meets up with the rest of the crew, gets buffed up, but not long enough. And now Rakuso cleans up both the kills from Speedy, who finally gets taken down here. Those frags going to be very crucial for pushing in right now because there is essentially no flank available to New Godflow. And so now Velocity just needs to pick their path, you know? They've got two options, right or left, choke or big door. And they're somehow not doing any of that.
Well, I mean, Sky only has like 65% Uber Charge.
Yeah, Flo is Uber. My mistake.
But that was like all built. The thing is that Sky just wasn't healing for a good chunk of that. She was so disconnected from her team. So Flo don't really know that they had like a 50% Uber Charge advantage. If they knew that, they would have gone for sure. But yeah, with Sky at 100% now, the time has passed. Boar is on Sniper. He has yet to have a Sniper life where he hasn't gone at least decent in this game.
Yeah, he's playing the patience game. You know, you gotta get intimate during these Sniper battles. There's not a battle per se, but you just gotta get intimate when you're carefully watching that angle, that sweet angle, and you just want to see a little bit of meat, you know. Just a nice little head poking out. So Boar decides to wrap over to the big door, where it's much nicer, much wider for him to access. And he doesn't get the shot, though. Mr. Muffins dancing his heart out, trying to keep the pressure up with these little scatter shots from long distance, literally peppering him from a distance. And Dingo's now going to peek his little head forward. Gets a good sticky there, but gets pressured by Shamu and is not going to be able to survive that. So now he's going to lose his life. No demo to defend with. It's going to be an easy decision for Velocity now.
That was so well timed from Shamu, and now Speedy gets in to get a second one onto Marmaduke Girls just for fun. And 404, you can tell, in a very difficult position. Gonna probably want to use this Uber Charge to get out, but they need to force out of Sky. Velocity need to start going. This numbers advantage isn't going to last forever. Here they go. Uber Charge off out of 404, and then Sky going to pop as well. So, New Godflow not actually choosing to escape with this Uber Charge because they were here for so long, but Speedy going to use the takedown. Saigai not expecting that, and I think they probably should have used it to run away because here comes the hurt. 404, even with Muffins Dingo all taken down. Patty, the last remaining hope, but Sky's on full HP. Wow, I told you they should have ran away.
And now Boar's got eyes on last. There's not really anyone to watch. He's got it fully charged now. Sees Saigai, misses the shot. It's all Velocity's cap now. Doesn't manage to clean up in the end. And so now a very strong performance. It's 4-2. This could be the last round, Cornpop.
Yeah, this could be it with Velocity Esports. 25 minutes to get one round for them. So they're not against the clock. They're not really against anything, but their silver lining is that New Godflow won their first mid last time, so they can continue that. Maybe there's hope for them. We'll see. Even Mr. Muffins going down early, not going to help them, though. That makes it 5-on-6 to start things off. Jared on about 50% HP after getting that. And New Godflow, they're so scared. They're already on.
Yeah, they definitely want to play it like this. This is the first time we've seen this kind of mid, where they decide, hey, let's back out instead of fully commit and win in a weird exchange and get the med, and then be in a similar situation just further along our last. they decide to play it safe. And so now, this is the tricky part about goalie wash is when you've got second, you've got Uber, the only real thing that can initiate is the right amount of pressure from big door to get behind, send the players in, catch out players who go behind, or to send in aggressively someone around the bend. It's Boar, who manages to actually survive a sticky trap, but just gets juggled right into Dingo's clutches, pipes him down, and now it's going to be a retaliation from New Flow. Saigai jumps in, he gets really deep, gets the force, poor Sky.
Wow.
Take a full rocket, and was just too afraid of the second one to come out. Didn't even milk it for a half-second longer. So a counter offer, counter Uber, comes out thanks to the force from Shamu. Speedy's waiting up top. They're so distracted, they might not look for this. They might get the frag.
Yeah, he's in on 404, perfectly timed. Just needs one more rocket and we'll hit it. Cleaned up in the end by Dingo. Well, most likely, there we go, it's the pipe. And that leaves only 3 players on Velocity left alive. One of them is Boar, though, on that Spy class. Sneaking up behind Dingo, gonna turn around for Saigai and won't win that fight. Almost did, second on 4 HP. But regardless, now New Godflow are on the enemy team's second point, and this is a really dangerous position for Velocity. That one force out of Sky has turned things against them, and they're holding last. The silver lining, though, this is that Ubercharge advantage.
Yeah, it's pretty big, too. 4-4 was late on that respawn. So now the game plan for Flow is, we gotta slow them down. We gotta make them make a mistake, or let us get Uber. And Velocity now trying to get their way in through this shutter door. Peeking in through lobby. The Stickies around the corner do pick up Shamu, and that's going to be exactly what they needed. They're deciding, hey, there's no chance in hell we can make this work. So, New God Flow does the right thing. Dingo collecting on a nice little tab for Shamu. They're going to get their Uber, and they're going to get a shot at pushing last here shortly.
It's going to be even Uber charges, but at the same time, they don't have a whole lot of time. They got to get 2 more rounds. About 25 minutes to tie it, 3 if they want to try to win. So they might just choose to push in after a while, but at the moment, I believe it's going to be Sax, and it will be Evil Mr. Muffins and Marmaduke Grills. Oh my god, that didn't go well at all. Speedy and Jarrett shutting those down very quickly. Shamu goes out for the counter aggression, does suffer for it. Dingo hits him with that trap, and they're still not done yet. Watch out for Rakuso, gets that force perfectly timed. They lost 3 for it. Is that going to be too much? Especially with Boar on Sniper in behind. What is he even doing back there? He could be in trouble meeting Patty in the river. Easily going to win that one is Patty. And now there's 2 players on last. Jarrett and Sky up against Patty, who forces them off, gets the time on point. Saigai, there's the Uber charge, though. That's going to stop it right in time, forcing everybody off of it. Patty's had to go back through river. Saigai, New Godflow, they're not done just yet. There goes the reflect from Rakuso on that Pyro, taking down Saigai. Jarrett gonna trade for that in the end, making it a 5-on-5. Patty trying to get in here, but I think it's a little bit too late for Godflow. They just need to back up.
Oh, that was so good from Saigai. I wanted to commend him for juggling the right amount. Like, it would have been their cap, but unfortunately, he did everything he could. He did exactly what he should have, but the cap did not go away fast enough. So the decap is now underway. It's a little risky. They could find a chance to push here because they have the Uber and it's already half capped, but they have to wait for Marty Grills first. They are setting up in river. Uber is ticking away for Sky. They want to take down his gun as quickly as possible. It does go down, and now the Uber gets forced off. Quickly going is Patty to the point. He gets killed, but oh, the flash might have cost them that cap. And now the pressure's on. Saigai finally finishes it off, and Flow are not out of the running yet. 3-4 with about 20 minutes left.
That's a simple matter of 4-4 counting the Uber charges better than Sky. Velocity were not expecting that at all. They thought it was even, but New Godflow, they were on top of things. They knew, now we got about a 20-30% advantage. We can push with that. 4-3 on this next mid-fight. We can see them getting aggressive. Evil Mr. Muffins is solo to start things off, but with the rest of the team behind him, Rakuso will be the first frag in here. Trading for Marmaduke Grills now. Boar going to get down as well. Trading rockets across the point, slows things down. Here comes Saigai with a jump in, but with only 4, Velocity might choose to back off sooner rather than later here. Stay alive, get back to second. Speedy through the drop down. Gotta watch out for that. Nobody's looking. Oh, even Mr. Muffins is watching that. Regardless, Speedy wins the fight. Still gets taken down by Patty, though. That leaves 3 left alive on Velocity on the second point.
Yeah, they've got the Uber ready, and surprisingly, 4-4 a little bit lagging behind. They're not going to know this because they have to assume he has the Uber, but it would have been an interesting play. There's nothing that would have dictated it, but it would have been nice. But still, Marmaduke Grills looking around this big door, wants to see if he can create an opening for his friend, Mr. Saigai. They're rotating over. They want to get some room here. Mardigra's like, hey, this is free real estate. Let's take it. And so now the pressure is really on because now a lot of players have rotated back, but Mardigra sneaks his way into the lobby, gets taken down, and Mr. Muffins overextends. So now 2 down. Velocity are going to be taking this matter into their own hands.
Cannot underestimate Jarrett in that situation, and Speedy gets the force off out of 404 at the same time. Sky runs in through that choke, just protecting on Jarrett. So a couple players in behind. You saw Shamu get taken down there, and now Speedy in a lot of trouble back on second, cleaned up by evil Mr. Muffins. So New Godflow deals with those players in behind very well. The Ubercharge being exchanged, not super bad for them. With the 64 advantage, they're actually working their way into lobby, and this could be the rat play. Velocity nowhere near their Ubercharge at all. This is going to be a tough time for them if they can't get out. Now, if they can work their medic out somehow, but I mean, how's it even going to happen? Sky is all the way back. Guy's going to go down. It's a good start. Shamu poking in from behind. Needs to make some space. We can see New Godflow have worked their way all the way up top here. Sky, if she can get into that shutter, that could be enough with 404 and Dinko getting taken down. This is everything they need. Shamu coming in from behind, and Jarrett with those amazing pipes going to shut down everything. The team's there to respond, and a disaster for New Godflow.
5 seconds on the clock for the next respawn. Dingo, Guy really far behind. The respawns are going to be up in forward spawn here, and now it finally gets capped off. Guy also sitting up top, gonna get a little bit of pressure here from the boys. Oh, and he does manage to sneak out. So that one player advantage might make the difference if they can hold this. You know, kite these Ubers as best they can. They don't have enough time to get their Uber, but they can still defend and then just win a fight after they've eliminated the enemy Uber. But now, all guns are ready to go. We'll see how they push. Velocity taking it now.
The end of the game could be just moments away. They're looking at Shutter. They can take their time with this, getting the gun down. That's going to be very nice from them, methodical. Here they come through the Shutter, popping in on Shamu and Jarrett, the two staples of this team. The gun trying to get rebuilt at the level 1. Patty goes down early, a little bit of point time now. Speedy trying to get a little bit more of that. Gets taken down, but the rest of the team is there to defend, and that's going to be it. 5-3, Velocity Esports triumph over New Godflow.
Very strong performance. New Godflow setting the pace early, though, with their early lead. Could not hold on to it, though. Velocity found their stride, and they kept going. And that's the mark of Velocity. Once they get going, they maintain that pace. Until it goes downhill, like you say, and then acceleration applies, and then they're faster.
Exactly. It seems like as soon as things start going bad for them, they kick it up a notch, and Shenmue drops 42 frags, and the game is over. What can you do against that? Honest to God. I mean, good try from New Godflow. They're in a bit of a tough spot if you're going to look at league standings overall, because this was one where they're really looking to win it off. They want to sneak into playoffs. They lost some matches they maybe shouldn't have early on. They lost to Mentality Esports. They lost to My Anime List. And because of that, their playoff chances are certainly in jeopardy. So this was one they were hoping to win and, keep the dream alive. I think it's still possible for them, but it's looking rough. They basically can't lose another game against a sort of mid-level team.
Yeah. I mean, what else is there to really say about this match? It was really well played from Velocity.
Yeah.
Showing themselves up, winning the better mids, winning the better exchanges after they lost mids. It just worked out for them in the end, and now, once, like you said, a little bit closer to securing themselves an early lead. They are now 6-2 in the league, only losing to, I'm gonna guess, Freotech and Ascent.
No points there.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as playoffs are shaping up, we're exactly halfway through the season actually as this match comes to a close. Both teams have now played 8 of their 16 matches. And if you take a look at the bracket, I think Freotech, Ascent, probably really good picks for making it to playoffs. Velocity, I think, have pretty much secured third with that win, more or less. Obviously, upsets could happen and this could all be wrong. But generally, it looks like Freotech, Ascent, Velocity heading into playoffs. That 4th spot's still kind of up for grabs. I don't think it's out of the grasps of New Godflow, but they're going to have to go hard these next 5 weeks. My Anime List, probably the most likely contenders to take it. Mentality Esports not out of it yet either. So once again, it's coming down to a really close race for that 4th spot, as we often see in the Invite division.
Yeah. Quick breakdown of the logs here. We've got big numbers. Actually, they're roughly the same, but even Mr. Muffins turned up in that second half. Grabbed himself another 10 kills. sitting up in that pretty 35. Everyone broke 10k damage except for Boar, who seems to be lagging behind. In fact, he didn't even get a positive KD. What a scrub! But you know, you can't really complain when your team won. And were there any really crucial headshots other than Boar that one time when they were pushing back into mid? That's the only one I remember. Or they were defending mid.
He had a nice actually push into last where he got 2 kills. Both were pretty important. One to sort of start things off the close range headshot, and then another one to finish off the last player on the point so that his team could cap it off. So it was kind of
already over though.
Yeah, maybe, but I feel like there wasn't anything super flashy. But when he played sniper, every time he swapped to sniper, he was consistent. Sometimes you see somebody switch to sniper, and it's like they hit nothing, and it's like, well, you're wasting our time. You know, it's basically a 5v6 at that point. But every single time Boar showed up on sniper, he showed up for real, and he was hitting those shots. So yeah, you gotta commend him for that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not discrediting an invite sniper who's claimed to be the best. I'm poking jokes. These are obvious jokes here. But things are now concluded. We're at 5-3. Velocity winning it off in the end with a very solid. I mean, I'm surprised how quickly that ended, especially with how close it was, back and forth. Very good game overall. Nice numbers overall. I mean, Speedy maintaining really fat damage for his team. Jarrett not too far behind. Speedy kind of like a, I guess you could say, hidden. You know, there's that joke where it's like, do you remember an X frag from this player? No, of course not. But like with Speedy, like you don't realize how much work he's doing, but he was out there, you know. Shotgun is still a thing.
Oh yeah, Speedy's definitely, he was a surprise pick for Velocity. We thought they were playing with Kryptonite going into the season, and then he was kind of a last minute switch. They're like, we're bringing in Speedy, and everybody had to go look up, okay, who's Speedy again? But he's done really well for the team. I think he's fitting in quite nicely for Velocity, and the season is shaping up to be the best in their franchise's history.
Yeah, so I think we're done here. It's good cast.
Yeah, I would agree. If you're looking forward on the schedule, basically tomorrow we've got an ETF 2L game happening in the afternoon if you're North American. 7 versus Swift. That's like the top 2 teams of Europe. I think that's 3:15 Eastern time, so it should be pretty handily if you're able to catch that. I do recommend watching it. And then in the evening, new Godflow and My Anime List happening once again. It's a new Godflow week in North America. We're covering both of their games. That's because they're both pretty crucial. I believe if New Godflow lose that one against My Anime List, they're pretty much out of playoff contention. So it's a big one. Make sure you check out those 2 games happening tomorrow. My name's been Cornpop. Thank you so much to Console for jumping in last second to cover this match. And thank you, Row, for being my wonderful co-caster here tonight. And do you have anything else you want to say?
Shoutouts to the open team for dealing with Console throwing to produce.
Yeah, Console.
Was that close enough, Console?
Yeah, to finish an open match in order to cast this game, so he threw for his team so that the game would end sooner. He could come cast for us. So put some hearts for him in the chat.
That said, I think we're good for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining for this impromptu cast, and for those of you in the future, we hope you enjoyed this game of Velocity's turning point in the season, where they won Invite, because you're in the future and you know this. And this is where it all started. So
thanks for watching.
Good night.